Om Jnanatimandasya Garanjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmalatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurudev Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master has kindly opened my eyes with the shining torchlight of transcendental knowledge. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we're continuing our reading of Bhagavad Gita from chapter 9, entitled The Most Confidential Knowledge. Text number 4.
Do you think that if Prabhupada doesn't come, I would die with like a no knowledge as it is, the way I'm born and die like that? You think if Prabhupada doesn't come?
Well, whether it's Prabhupada or it has to be someone. I mean, without a devotee, it's impossible to come to Krishna consciousness. Somewhere or another, you have to have contact with a devotee. In this case, it was Prabhupada that came, but yeah, it has to be someone. You have to have some contact with a devotee. But yeah, Prabhupada did that great service of traveling all over the world, spreading Krishna consciousness. So we're very indebted to him. Just like the Bhakti Mala's back, that's good. Your connection is okay? Your computer connection?
I'm on my phone now. Something happened with my computer, so I didn't know what.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah, it's always happening with me too. Technology. So yeah, having that contact with a devotee is the only way we can come to Krishna consciousness, you know. Even the book, right? But where does the book come from? Where does Bhagavad Gita come from?
That is from Krishna.
I know, but did Krishna give you the book?
He says, but like from 5,000 years, a lot of people, they just give it an interpretation, purport and all that. Prabhupada did 50 years ago. I'm sure 4,000.
But the point is,
950.
Yeah, but without the devotee, you're not going to be able to hear what Krishna has said 5,000 years ago. So the devotee's written in English for us, you know, Prabhupada wrote it in English for us. And then his followers distributed those books all around like that. And then we like to go to a temple as like a educational place to learn Krishna consciousness. But who made the temple? Devotees made the temple. We like to have prasadam, but where does the prasadam come from? Devotees cook the prasadam and serve the prasadam, you know. So having that contact with a devotee of Krishna is very essential, you know, like that. If you have questions, who are you going to ask your questions? You ask it to a devotee like that. So
if you have a desire, Krishna will make the path to devotee. He will make the arrangement, devotee will meet, he will do, you can go to temple and everything. If you make a desire, he will arrange guru for you, devotee for you, everything you do it for you.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Correct.
With the guru, you get Krishna. With the Krishna, you get guru.
Yes. Yes. Very nice. So I was just saying, Bhakti Mala, when you got cut off, that we're on the 9th chapter, text number 4 today.
Yeah.
Text number 4. So in just a recap, text number 2 was explaining this knowledge of Krishna consciousness, devotional service, is the king of all knowledge. It's the greatest knowledge. It's the best kind of religious process because it gives direct realization of the self and of one's relationship with God, and it brings one to the ultimate happiness. Brings one to the ultimate happiness. And text number 3 said the opposite side. If you don't have faith to start up this process of devotional service, then you're going to end up returning to the path of birth and death in this material world. So that's the two sides of the coin. That's the two sides of the coin. You take the Krishna consciousness and you can be happy, and you don't take the Krishna consciousness and you don't have faith in Krishna consciousness, and then you have to keep coming back again to the material world. So that's our free choice, and Krishna gives us that choice, and the devotees also give us that choice. Whether you want to go back home, back to Godhead, or you want to return to the cycle of birth and death in the material world, that choice is there. So
what happens if I die without guru? I'll have a choice to have a guru in my life, so I have to come back.
there's no question of any kind of devotee not having a guru, because
And like Ispan says, like in a living guru, I don't have a living guru. I've got Prabhupada, is the guru for everyone. But the living guru, I didn't have any. But if I still died with the desire for guru, guru came in my life, it would be so auspicious, so really, because I have to come back again.
One thing is that the question is Prabhupada living or dead?
Well, if you're looking at physical body, yes, he's dead. But living is in his books.
Yeah, so that's what he said. That Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written one beautiful poem, which is at the place where Haridas Thakur departed from, and that's in Jagannath Puri. And he wrote there that on his, like you could say, gravestone or samadhi, that he reasons ill who says that a Vaishnava dies while thou art still living in sound. So he's used Old English. So he said, while thou art living in sound. So that's saying that he reasons ill who says Vaishnavas die. Because it says they die to live, and while living, they spread the holy name around. So why is it bad reasoning to think a Vaishnava dies? Because they're living in the spiritual sound vibration, and that's recorded here in these books. And we have the audio recordings also, due to technology. We have all these wonderful audio recordings of Prabhupada's voice as well. And those instructions are always there. Actually, Prabhupada said, my books are better than me. Even while he was living, he said that. My books are better than me. How is it that Prabhupada's books could be better than him while he was physically present?
Because he can be at one place at one time, but books can be in the 200 places at the same time.
Yeah. And even when you were with Prabhupada, can you be with Prabhupada 24 hours a day?
No.
No, because he's going to go to bed, right? Or he's going to go to the toilet, or he's going to eat or something. But the book is on your shelf 24/7. You can pick it up and you can read it. Even you can't sleep and you had a nightmare or something like that, you can just get up and read the book, and immediately you'll get peace and shelter from that, So that vibration is there. One time a devotee said to Prabhupada that Prabhupada, you said in your books that without being initiated, you can't go back to Godhead. And so he said, does that mean that the people that have your books can't go back to Godhead? And Prabhupada said, no. He said, anyone that has my book is initiated. That's far out, isn't it? Mm-hmm. He said, anyone that has my book is initiated. What does initiated mean? What does the word initiate mean? Like when you initiated your Gloria Jeans franchise, or Gail initiated her naturopath. What's that?
You connect to the parampara.
No, but the word initiate means to start. So that
reborn.
Yeah, so at initiation, that's your starting your spiritual life. So, but that if someone's reading one of Prabhupada's books, they've started out their spiritual life from that point, when they've started, hearing from Prabhupada like that and following his instructions. That's the start. Not necessarily when you have a ceremony, which lasts for 1 hour, and we call that initiation, but not necessarily that's the start. Like Prabhupada first met his guru in 1922, but he got physically initiated by him in 1936. So then the question is, when did Prabhupada get initiated? In 1922 or 1936?
Well, 22.
Yeah, 22. So when he first heard his guru speak, he got inspired. He got inspired by his guru right from that point and got attracted to accept. He accepted that person in his heart, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati in his heart, from that first meeting in 1922. So yeah, anyone has got Prabhupada's books is already, and starting the process, they're already initiated. So, you know, they can go back to Godhead. You know, I disagree. You know, you have to have some, I mean, of course, I mean, we're associating with devotees, but you're not necessarily accepting them as an initiating guru, but you're taking advice from them. So definitely I would say you need that, and we call that shiksha guru. Shiksha means instructions. So you need to associate with devotees giving you instructions and giving you guidance, you know, answering your questions. But we don't actually need a person just to, you know, make a vow, you know, and make a vow to chant 16 rounds and follow the 4 ego principles and get given a spiritual name. I would say, from my understanding of the scriptures, that you don't need that. You don't need that to go back to Godhead. But you do need to be taking instructions from the Parampara, like Gulshan mentioned, the Parampara. So yeah, you do need to be taking instructions from the Parampara. But you can get that kind of guidance from any devotee, you know, from any devotee that's sincerely following the process. You can get that. Of course, I'm not saying, you know, we shouldn't have the ceremony. That's all very nice. But just that 1 hour ceremony isn't just like going to do some magic on you necessarily and transport you, you know, 1,000 light years and more advancement or whatever like that. I think that's not the case. Actually, our disciplic succession, a lot of those persons mentioned in the disciplic succession, the relationship wasn't, they weren't initiated disciples, you know, and many of the cases they weren't initiated disciples, but they had just received instructions from them. Like, I'll give you an example. Jagannath Das Babaji, his name's written above Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, but Jagannath Das Babaji didn't give initiation to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That's not there. Jagannath Das Babaji is the Shiksha Guru, or instructing spiritual master of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, and there's many cases like that. Many cases like that. So yeah, formal initiation, that's there just to try to make us more serious. That's the point of having.
You know, Prabhuji, until I get the van, I was looking forward to, very excited. Now I got a van, I saw anyone can buy it. You know what I mean? Because you initiated, you don't see the important. I'm not initiated. It's been a lot to me. I don't know. It just once the Radha Maharaj give it a one chanting of the beads and a bag in my hand with his own hand, that means nirvana for me. Because I didn't have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then the very fact that you are thinking about that so much, that's very good for your Krishna consciousness. But as soon as you get that nirvana, then it'll be back to normal again, maybe. So, you know, it's better you stay. I give you the blessings to stay as you are, not being initiated. Then you'll always be hankering for Krishna. Where are you, Krishna? Where are you, Guru Maharaj? Where are you, Krishna? So that's a good.
The last night dream. Okay, last night I dreamed that I'm in India. I went to the electricity office to pay the bill. Yeah. And over there, a few people are lined up there. And then when my turn came, and then they're talking about just Krishna. I said, yeah, if you take the plate to that, he will eat from your plate. Krishna, offer it. This is this. And he said, oh yeah, you can take it, the puri and the kheer and all that things there. Is he can eat or not? There's a question mark. I said, no, he can eat, man. Believe me. And then there's 3-4 people against me, and I started crying. I said, believe me, I offer him, he eats that. And we just having I was keep crying there. I said, can't you see my tears? You can't see the truth here? And then he said, oh, still, I said, man, believe me, in my tears, you can see the Krishna. And he could not believe that. He said, oh, your turn came, you pay the bill. And I just wake up. I said, oh, okay, I need to go to toilet. So he doesn't believe me. Whole night I was just fighting with him. He doesn't believe
That's
me.
a nice
And this
dream,
is the office.
Gulshan.
Yeah, very nice
A
dream.
nice dream.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, no need to change anything, Gulshan. Stay as you are and just keep hankering for initiation, and that's very good.
But honestly, even last breath on my whatever the last breath till there, I will keep remembering Radhanath Maharaj, whatever
Good.
the world says.
Nice,
It's
nice.
nothing.
Yeah,
gonna
so
change.
don't change that. Just keep it as it is.
Nothing. And I'll, maybe if it's somebody around me, I say, give me the picture of Radhanath Maharaj in my one hand and one in Jagannath. That's it. I'm
Yeah.
done.
Nice.
After
That's
that,
very nice.
go even
And that's the
everywhere.
recommendation, to have faith in the spiritual master and faith in Krishna. Yasya deve para bhaktir, yasya deve para bhaktir, yata deve tata guru, tas katita hya ata prakashante mahatmana. Yeah, so it said all the conclusions of the Vedas are automatically revealed to those souls that have complete faith in both the spiritual master and in Krishna. So they'll get all realization. So that's very good. You should have strong faith like that.
Even spiritual master more faith than Krishna.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Master, you know Krishna.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
What's he saying?
He said you should have more faith in the spiritual master than Krishna. No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, the spiritual master is a representative of Krishna. The spiritual master's a representative of Krishna.
How did you get faith in Krishna? God, the spiritual master.
Okay. But I mean, you got to be careful with that too. I mean, like,
if you take the link, you can't reach to Krishna.
Krishna
True.
Is not infallible. Krishna is infallible, whereas everybody else.
Giant is saying Krishna's infallible means he can't fall down. But of course we can fall down. And I like to say that what happened if the guru had some problem and fell down or something happened, then what would happen to someone that had such, tremendous faith more in the guru than in Krishna? That could be dangerous. And there have been.
Krishna. After that, if you fall down or if you pass down, doesn't matter. He already did the connection. He done the job.
No, already connected, but I'm saying, there have been many devotees that left Krishna consciousness after their guru had some problems. Then the devotees left Krishna consciousness. Is that the right thing that they did that? No, it's not the right thing.
Then they have to have faith in the guru then. That's why they left.
No,
but it means they had a very superficial understanding of what the guru is. Gail, you wanted to say something?
If a guru is corrupt, the same as a minister or a priest or whatever is corrupt, then what happens is it's called a stumbling block. People can stumble in their faith because they put so much faith in their spiritual master. But if they have total faith in God, then if the spiritual master does something wrong, nothing changes. Because you see, faith is in God, not in the guru.
They think the God come from guru.
Yeah.
But gurus are humans, so they can do bad things. They do. I know. So you can't. I mean, that's the point. Is that the point you're making?
Yeah. We should have, the foundation of our faith is in God, is in Krishna. That's our foundation. And anyone that's representing Krishna, God, we have faith in them too. As long as they're representing Krishna. But if that changes and they stop representing Krishna, then we would remove our faith from that particular form or person and then put our faith in other persons that are, representing Krishna. So, and of course, the person might keep representing Krishna until the day they die, and that's glorious. Or the person might stumble after representing Krishna for 30 years or 40 years and like that. So, but however, during that 30, 40 years, that's glorious also. We give full respect to anyone that's you know, completely surrendered their life for Krishna for any number of years. And we shouldn't also criticize someone that, you know, leaves Krishna consciousness, because what we know is that Maya is very strong, very powerful. One time, even the original spiritual master in the universe, the first disciple of Krishna, Lord Brahma, who created the universe under Krishna's directions, even he fell down one time. He got attracted with lust towards his daughter. And then one disciple of Prabhupada started to say in a class that Lord Brahma is not a pure devotee. And the evidence he gave of that was that he got attracted to his daughter, so he fell down. And then the devotees were confused because he's the original spiritual master in our succession. So they were confused, and they said, Prabhupada, one of your disciples said in class that Lord Brahma is not a pure devotee. And Prabhupada said, what? Who is that rascal? Who said that? Prabhupada said that is not the lesson. The lesson, and that story is given in the Bhagavatam, the lesson is not that Lord Brahma is not a pure devotee because he fell down. The lesson is that Lord Brahma is so much greater than us. And he has difficulties sometimes with the illusory energy, Maya. What is our position? We're so much smaller than Lord Brahma, so how careful we should be. Even Lord Brahma is so great, he has trouble sometimes with Maya. What about us? You know, so we have to be super cautious and always very sincere and serious in our Krishna consciousness, because potentially anyone can fall because Maya is so great. There's only one person stronger than Maya. Do you know who that is?
Krishna.
Krishna, yeah. So that's the only way to escape Maya's victimization and control is by taking shelter of Krishna.
Maya is Krishna's energy anyway.
Eh?
Maya is Krishna's energy anyway.
Exactly. So Krishna's energy can't overpower Krishna. But Krishna's energy, Maya, can overpower anyone else, including Lord Brahma and downwards. And we're way downwards from Lord Brahma. So, yeah, it's not surprising. And Prabhupada said one time, don't be surprised who leaves ISKCON. Be surprised who stays. You understand that? So yeah, we get surprised, oh, such and such person fell down. But that's actually not a surprise, because why? Because we know Maya is so powerful compared to any one of us. But yeah, surprised that someone, you know, surrenders to Krishna and then remains surrendered for their whole life. That's a surprise. You know, that's very rare soul. You know, we know it's very rare that someone comes to Krishna consciousness, and then even more rare that, you know, they stay in Krishna consciousness through all the good times and the bad times and all the ups and downs and all the obstacles. And one of the acharyas mentions that Kala Kalia Balina Indriya Varivaga Shi Bhakti Maga Iya Kantaka Kanti Rudha Ha Kwayami Vikala Kim Maham Karomi Chaitanya Chandra Yadinadra Kapam Karosi. What that means is that this is a devotee praying to Lord Chaitanya, and he's saying that in this Kali Yuga, the senses are so strong. They're so strong. Their enemies become my greatest enemies, as my own senses are so powerful. Balina means very powerful, these indriyas. And then this beautiful path of bhakti, Sri Bhakti Marga, Iha Kantaka Kodi Ruta. In this Kali Yuga, this beautiful path of bhakti is such a nice path, chanting, dancing, feasting, but it's spiked. This path is spiked with millions of thorny obstacles. Koti means millions of thorny obstacles. So there's so many obstacles. The foremost of the obstacles is our own crazy mind, you know, and then the government's an obstacle, and all the demons, the little demons everywhere, they're obstacles, and, you know, so many things. You know, our bad health might be an obstacle, or we have, you know, funny family members might be an obstacle, or, you know, so many things, you know, may be obstacles for us. the weather or whatever. You know, there's always so many obstacles. And then, so he's saying, considering all these things, the senses are so strong and so many obstacles, where will I go? What will I do? And my mind is so agitated. Where will I go? What will I do? Then Chaitanya Chandra, Yadi Nadra Kapam Karosi, I'm just praying for your mercy, Lord Chaitanya. So that's what we have to do, is pray. We have to pray to Krishna in his most merciful incarnation as Lord Chaitanya. We should pray to Lord Chaitanya, who's in the mood, Krishna in the mood of Radharani. And Radharani, as women are usually more soft-hearted than the men, so she's very merciful and kind, Radharani, even more kind than Krishna. And if we pray to Krishna in the mood of Radharani, then please save me, please deliver me, you know, please be merciful to me. Then Lord Chaitanya's mercy, we can overcome all these obstacles. We can get free from the agitated mind. We can get control over these wild senses who are compared to wild horses, like that. Then we have a chance. Otherwise, there's no chance, like that. So we need mercy. Even with our best efforts, it's not really enough in Kali Yuga. We're also weak and, you know, not very good at spiritual life or anything, not very renounced or detached, like that. So, but we should pray for the mercy of the Lord, like that. And this is the best way to make progress. But yeah, sometimes it happens that even the guru might have problems. But yeah, we shouldn't lose faith because of that. We still keep our faith in Krishna. And actually, there's only one guru, and that's Krishna. And it's said that one guru, Krishna, manifests himself to us in many forms. Many forms. You know, so we're, you know, ourselves or anyone, we're just a mouthpiece for Krishna. We're just a mouthpiece for Krishna. But those that are, you know, fully clued up in the philosophy understand that there's only one guru. There's not many gurus. There's only one guru. And all the many persons are doing is representing the one guru, representing Krishna. And if any guru says he's not representing Krishna, he's not a guru. But that's the meaning of guru, is, you know, just repeating Krishna's words. Prabhupada compared himself to a peon. You know what is a peon?
Yeah, it's a doorman.
Fuel.
The person who at the door to allow people to let them in.
Yeah.
Like the postman delivers the parcel from the post office, like that. So you're just a menial servant, like you're saying, a doorman. You know, so we're just humbly, you know, carrying out Krishna's orders, you know, delivering the message. So that's all we're doing. We're just carrying the message from Krishna. Like Lord Chaitanya said, Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Pranadan, Bolo Krishna Bhajo Krishna Koro Krishna Shika. So these are the words of God. You know, what is that? That Krishna's your mother, Krishna's your father, that he's the treasure of your life. So this is our purpose as Krishna's servant, as Krishna's peon, to repeat those words of Krishna. And then Bhaja Krishna, worship Krishna. We tell people, worship Krishna. Bolo Krishna, chant Hare Krishna. Koro Krishna Shika means follow Krishna's instructions, like in the Bhagavad Gita. So we're just repeating, you know, Krishna's words to people, like that. But if you understand that there's only one ultimate guru, that's God, then you're never going to lose faith, even if the peons have some trouble. Sometime the peon might stumble over, you know, but that we shouldn't be shocked and, you know, lose faith ourselves in that condition. Of course, we hope that every devotee does remain, you know, in good standing in Krishna consciousness. We don't wish any bad for anyone. But yeah, it is the condition, especially in Kali Yuga, that there's going to be some problems sometimes. Okay, let's recite the verse, huh? Text 4.
That's a very favorite verse, very important verse.
Yes, yes. Maya tatam idam sarvam
Maya tatam idam sarvam
jagadavyakthamurtina
jagadvyarthamurtina
Matstani sarvabhutani
Satyani sarvabhutani
Nachaham Teshvavastita.
na chaham taishtuvastita. For me, in my unmanifested form, the entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. And that's the controversy.
Yeah.
All begins in me, and I'm not in them. How
Yeah.
can that be possible?
Yeah. So there are many contradictions in the scriptures, but that doesn't mean that there's a mistake. Normally that might indicate there's a mistake if there's a contradiction, but this is no mistake, even though it seems contradictory, but actually it's not contradictory. It just requires some higher insight to understand how it works. And Prabhupada gives a good example in the purport, which we'll read, to clarify that. How is it possible? So it's saying that here, this verse is saying that Krishna is spread all over the universe, right? Spread all over the universe in his avyakta murtina. Murtina means form, but avyakta means not manifest, so you can't see it. He's spread all over the universe in a form that you can't see, right? And he's saying that everything is in him. But then he says something that seems contradictory, so that everything is in him, but he's saying he's not in them. So everything is in him, but he's not in everything. Okay, so that's hard to understand. But let's read the second paragraph. So, Bhakti Mala, yet one should
not conclude that because he is spread all over, he has lost his personal existence. To refute such an argument, the Lord says, I am everywhere and everything is in me, but I am still aloof. For example, a king heads a government which is but the manifestation of the king's energy. The different governmental departments are nothing but the energies of the king, and each department is resting on the king's power. But still, one cannot expect the king to be present in every department personally. That is a crude example. Similarly, all the manifestations that we see and everything that exists, both in this material world and the spiritual world, are resting on the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The creation takes place by the diffusion of his different energies, and as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, he is everywhere present by his personal representation, the diffusion of his different energies.
Nice. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
How everything is within him, and yet he's not within everything. So just like that, the kingdom is just made up of the energies of the king. You know, by his energy, you know, everything is going on by the energy of the king. And yet the king is not everywhere in the kingdom, is he? He's just sitting in his palace. The king is sitting in his palace, but under his control is that whole kingdom, and everything was going on very nicely because of that king is giving out the instructions and the directions and everything to manage all the different, you know, departments of the kingdom, and everything is going on very well. And it's true, you know, if there is a good leader, you can then everything underneath will go very well. You'll see if you go around a country and see that, oh, everything's very nice in this country, that's indicating, you know, there is a very good leader, and he's organized things very well under his direction, like that. And it goes the other way too, you know.
Very good example of the Singapore. The Prime Minister hasn't been changed for 25 years. That's why you see the law and order and everything is so clean and nice, everything in place. You can't see any news about Singapore, any crime or anything. Have you any news of Singapore? Any crime happen, anything there? Nothing. Not even one extra, anything news, you can't hear that. The Prime Minister there 25 years. And then and
yet that king, you're not going to see him wandering around on the street or in the restaurant or whatever. No, he's in his palace. So in the same way, you know, Krishna is in the spiritual world, but things are automatically going on everywhere in the material world and the spiritual world because of his different energies. He has energies of knowledge that carry out everything for him automatically. He has energies of strength, or bala, so strength. He has energies that just of strength that automatically do all the hard work. And he has energies that carry out all kind of activities for him. He doesn't need to do anything. You know, just like a big CEO, right? He's just sitting at his desk. He doesn't have to run around and do all the hard work. He's got all of his different, you know, representatives and, directors and things that do all the running around, you know, for him, like that. And even we could see with Prabhupada, right? He was just sitting at his desk in the temple, but he would just say, for example, if you want to please me, distribute my books. And thousands of hardworking young men and women would dedicated their life to running around day and night to carry out that order. So that was Prabhupada's energy, just by saying those few words, if you want to please me, distribute my books. You know, just half a dozen words. But there was so much power, so much energy in those words that inspired so many thousands of, you know, people, which you could say was Prabhupada's energies. You could compare those disciples to being Prabhupada's energies. So in the same way, Krishna has, you know, unlimited energies that are all personalities. They're all personalities, and they're performing different functions, different jobs, different roles, you know, to serve Krishna. And you won't see Krishna doing any hard work. What do you see Krishna doing? He's playing his flute, just enjoying playing his flute and dancing with beautiful women. You know, so Krishna's not doing any hard work. He's just enjoying. One time Prabhupada said Krishna is not like Atlas. You know the story of Atlas? I was just saying, Bhakti Mala, that you'll never see any picture of Krishna doing hard work. What will you see Krishna doing? You know, he's just playing his flute and dancing with beautiful women. He's just enjoying. But doing all the hard work is, he has so many devotees that do all the hard work for him. And like I mentioned, Prabhupada said one time, Krishna's not like Atlas. So you know the story of Atlas? Who's Atlas?
Oh, did he hold up? He held up the universe. I don't know.
He's got a picture of Atlas holding up the planet or the universe or whatever on his shoulders. So it's not that kind of God. He's depicted, I think, in Greek, isn't it Greek mythology or something? He's in Greek mythology. He's like a god that, you know, holds up the planet. And it looks like he's really straining. but Krishna's not that kind of God that he's like, has to do all this hard work and he's straining to do it.
So in this verse, they're really just talking about the personal aspect of Krishna. They're not talking about the Paramatma or, you know, the different aspects of Krishna. They're talking about Krishna, the person. Because I've lost you again.
Well, when it's saying the entire universe is pervaded by my unmanifested form, so what's that unmanifested form? That is the Paramatma.
Okay.
That is the Paramatma. So Paramatma has a form, but you can't see it because it's in the heart of every living entity. It's in the atom. It's very small, very like the soul is very small. So Paramatma is also very small, and it's made of spirit anyway. So even if it wasn't small, you still couldn't see it with material eyes because it has a spiritual form. But the whole universe is pervaded by the Paramatma, by the Supersoul, and also by another energy, by Brahman, by the spiritual light. So the whole universe is pervaded by the Brahman, which is the spiritual light. And that spiritual light is the light that radiates from Krishna's form. So Krishna's beautiful form radiates this dazzling effulgence, this beautiful light, which is called Brahma Jyoti. Brahma means spiritual and Jyoti means light. So the spiritual light radiates from Krishna's body. Now the Mayavadis and personalists, they say that Krishna is a temporary manifestation out of the light, but they've got it the wrong way around. So it's not that all of us and Krishna and any incarnations that we come from the light. No, it's the light comes from Krishna. So that's a mistake that they think like that. And we can read that in the end of the second to last verse of the 14th chapter. So which is text 26 of the 14th chapter. And that's giving a definite conclusion, Krishna is giving, that the light comes from Krishna, not the other way around, not that Krishna comes out of the light. (14) 27. Gail, you want to read it?
And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness.
So he says, I am the basis. So that's 100% conclusive that the spiritual light, the Brahman, comes from Krishna's body. There's such a beautiful radiance coming from Krishna. And that is distributed all over the universe, just like the sunlight, isn't it? Distributed everywhere, coming from the sun planet and the sun god. So although that energy of Krishna, that light from Krishna and the super soul also, Paramatma, is everywhere, but Krishna is not everywhere. However, although Krishna is not everywhere, he can appear anywhere and everywhere as he chooses. So that's his prerogative. Like at what circumstances, what occasions do we know that Krishna did appear in the universe? What are some examples? When Krishna did appear.
Every day he's appear in the sun.
But that's not Krishna. That's Surya Narayan is an expansion of Krishna.
To
That's
restore the true religion and fight the demons.
Yeah, very good, very good, very good. So we can look at that verse, 4th chapter, texts 6 and 7 that Gail is quoting. Very nice. 6 and 7 of the 4th chapter. Whoever gets there first can read it.
Gosh, I'm slow today.
Now I'm just been, he said, give it a chance to the woman.
Oh, he's being a real gentleman today.
I'm waiting for you because you always like.
I was a woman. I changed my sex. I'm become a man now.
Everyone's a humble devotee today.
Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, by my internal energy, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form.
Yeah. Okay, and 7.
Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, a descendant of Bharat, and a predominant rising of irreligion, at that time I descend myself.
Yatha
number
yatha
8.
hi dharmasya glani bhakti
Yeah.
bhava dharmasya
Yeah.
vidhanam vishnu.
Nearly every Hindu, if they're a good Hindu, knows these
that's
verses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If a Hindu
Yeah.
knows any verse in the Bhagavad Gita, it's 7 and 8.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. And number 8, you can read the 8.
Yeah, there was one series was happening there as well. Mahabharata is a TV series. When it starts there, 90% India stops. If somebody is riding a motorbike, he stop at the the street vendor to watching that series because they come Sundays.
Yeah.
And hold the bus station, train station when the series come and where somebody making the veggie nugget or something like it, they watch it there. Stop everything. Even the peanut selling, the peanut at the station there, I mean the TV, and with in the railway station's TV as well. So everything stops there. Even buses stops there. Driver watching there half an hour. The series of Mahabharata. So it starts from the same shloka. Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhakti bharata abhidhanam dharmasya
So yeah, there's such a beautiful culture. People have so much faith in hearing about God. It's such a nice quality.
And there was one Ramayana as well came as well. The whole India stops, except Muslim, I guess. I don't know about that, but it's 70-80% Hindu. Everyone just stopped anything what they're doing, and even the work as well. That even the bosses and all doesn't say anything because if Sunday somebody working there in the hospital and all that, so they stop that half an hour to watch that, and then bosses allow that too. Everyone to watch Ramayana and Mahabharata, two series. Yeah, I remember that. I was in India back in late
football.
That Jayanti probably know that Mataji.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's South. She probably know that is a different Ramayana. It's called the Kamban.
Yeah, Kambaram. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it is not a different Ramayana. There is more folk stories in that.
She said there's more folk stories in it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And number 8, Bhakti Mala, you can read number 8. This is the one that Gail was referring to.
To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium.
Very nice. And so what specific examples can we quote of when Krishna appeared to deliver the devotees and annihilate the demons and re-establish religion?
That's a beautiful example in Mahabharata.
Yes, so Krishna came. Krishna himself came to annihilate the Kauravas. That's this whole battle of Kurukshetra, right? Is to annihilate the Kauravas and to deliver the Pandavas who were devotees. The pious Pandavas were delivered, and the impious or sinful Kauravas were annihilated by that. And then he re-established religious principles. And that's this whole Bhagavad Gita, is re-establishing the religious principles. And what's the ultimate religious principle? Is 1866. This is the real establishing. We read 1865 too. That's also very important. So this is what it means to re-establish the religious principles, as especially these 2 verses. Is the essence.
Become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me, that you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are very dear friend. This is by Krishna.
And then next one?
Next one is abandon all vicinities of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear, I promise. Krishna says that, not
Is
me.
it Dilshan said or Krishna said?
Krishna says that.
Okay.
I only translate.
Okay. Yeah. And other examples, of course, when Krishna came into this energy as Nrsingadev, he came into what was the situation there? To deliver his devotee Prahlad and kill the demon Hiranyakashipu. You know, so he killed the demon and delivered the devotee like that. So many cases like that, where the Lord comes to save the devotees from who are being hurt by the demons. Yeah, but generally, yep.
I was going to say, with Chaitanya coming at that particular time and introducing the Maha Mantra to everybody again, that must have been to restore the true religion at that time.
Yeah. There's another book called Chaitanya Bhagavad, which explains a lot about the background, what was happening before Lord Chaitanya came. Even Chaitanya Charitamrita, which Prabhupada translated, tells about the background, that there was a few devotees that were present before Lord Chaitanya came, and they were always crying with unhappiness, seeing that the vast majority of people were so materialistic. Even 500 years ago, they were so materialistic that it's mentioned the only time that the common people might remember God in their day was when they took a bath in the morning. During the time they took a bath, then they had some custom where they would recall God's name or something like that. They would recite the name of God, you know, and they would just be worshipping the ancestors. That was very common at that time, worshipping the ancestors, worshipping different demigods for material purposes, to get, you know, a nice partner and get lots of money and you know, material benefits, and go to heaven in the next life and so forth. So they were just demigod worshippers, ancestor worshippers, materialistic people, a lot of drinking of liquor and, you know, eating meat, sacrificing animals and eating meat and drinking wine and so forth. You know, just like the modern philosophy of eat, drink, and be merry, right? That's our Western philosophy. Eat, drink, and be merry. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. So they had a, you know, a more, you know, basic version of that, like that. So, and there's a few devotees that were there, and the examples are Advaitacharya. So he's much older than Lord Chaitanya. So he was there before Lord Chaitanya came. And Haridas Thakur, you know, that they were lamenting that people are so materialistic. And Advaitacharya was so sad at the condition of the world, and he just prayed to Krishna to come. He prayed to Krishna to come. He worshipped Krishna in his stone form called Shalagram Shila. So he had a Shalagram Shila, and he would get tulsi leaves, the holy tulsi basil, and offer those tulsi leaves to his Shalagram Shila, and bathe the Shalagram Shila with Ganges, with the sacred Ganges water. And he was praying to Krishna like anything. He was roaring like a lion. He was roaring out Krishna's names and praying to Krishna to descend. And Advaitacharya is actually an incarnation of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva, as we know, he's in charge of destroying the universe. He was so angry. Even Advaitacharya was saying, if Krishna does not come, I will personally summon the disc, Sudarshan Chakra, and I will kill everyone. So he was really angry. He was really angry at seeing people so materialistic like that. And Haridas Thakur was chanting continuously. He was chanting 300,000 holy names every day, which is equivalent to 100 and what's 64 times 3? 100 and Is it 172? Who's got it?
164 times 3.
64 times 3.
64 times 3. Yeah, 170. 64 times 3.
No, it's
192.
192. So yeah, 192 rounds a day. So if you ever feel like complaining about why do I have to chant 16 rounds, then remember him chanting 192, then you won't feel so bad that you have to chant 16 rounds.
But you know what? The whole point is one should not feel that I have to chant. I mean, of course, at the beginning you'll be like, I mean,
yeah, I mean, ultimately it shouldn't be a chore, but in the beginning it probably will be a chore. Because in the beginning, do we have put up your hand if you have love of God right from day one? Yeah. No, we can't do that. We'd like to put our hand up, but no, we don't have much love for God. So but we are receiving instructions.
I have love for my dog.
We have instructions. Johnny has love for a dog. There's another one in there. So, yeah.
I was wondering about this the other day because you always talk about the different yugas and how they're different ways in each yuga, and I thought the last one was like deity worship, wasn't it? The one before this one.
Yeah, Dwapara Yuga. Yeah, that's deity worship.
Because I wondered, like, if Lord Chaitanya didn't come till 500 years ago, then there was like a whole 4,000 years that people weren't actually given what the thing was for this yuga. Like if chanting is the way for liberation in this yuga, but then Lord Chaitanya didn't come till 500 years ago, then what was happening before that? Like, were they just doing the deity worship still because they thought that was? Does that make sense, or is that?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I've got it. I understand what your question is. Yeah, so I mean, why do we see a lot of temple worship in India and even other places too? It is because it is left over from the previous age, so they're still carrying on from what was being done previously. So that's why we see a lot of remnants of that there. But then, you're saying, well, how were people going to be able to chant before Lord Chaitanya came to tell them to chant? How were they going to do that? But actually, the holy name has always been there. So it's not only that the holy name is in Kali Yuga, the holy name's in every yuga, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga as well. But the thing is, in other yugas, people have far greater abilities. So they can do more than chant the holy name. They can do meditation in the forest. They can do fire sacrifices, chant millions of mantras, and they've got gold plates and ghee and stuff to do all the sacrifices. And they're super rich, like in Dwapara Yuga, they can build massive temples out of stones and everything like that. Yeah. But now, but the holy name was there in all those yugas too. But people used to have more abilities, so that they used to do more than that. So the holy name was already there, even before Lord Chaitanya came. But it wasn't very popular because people had become so materialistic, which is not surprising, because why are we all here in the material world in the first place is because we walked away from God. See you later. I want to enjoy without you. I want to have a go enjoying by myself. So that's why Krishna created the material world for all of us rebels. So it's not surprising that we're a bit anti-God, anti-Krishna and so forth, and that we just want to have sex, drugs, rock and roll, because, that's our desire, and Krishna facilitates that. That is facilitating those desires for sense gratification. So that's surprising. So when society gets really off track and forgetting God completely, then he manifests, he appears like that. And the good news is that he didn't just disappear when Lord Chaitanya disappeared 500 years ago. He's still present in the form of Krishna is still present. God is still present in the form and the holy name. So that's also called the Nama avatar. So that the Lord has descended, or an avatar incarnation, He's incarnated in the form of his holy name. So Krishna is still present in the form of his holy name. And I'll tell you what, even Lord Chaitanya, right, when he took sannyas, he was married. His first wife died, Krishna Priya. No, Lakshmi Priya. Lakshmi Priya, yeah. So Lakshmi Priya's first wife, she died out of separation from him when he went to East Bengal one time preaching. She died out of separation, which, I mean, of course, didn't die. I mean, she's a goddess of fortune, but she left that form anyway. And then she reappeared again. She reappeared in the form of his second wife, Vishnu Priya. And then Lord Chaitanya said at 24 years old, just married and no children, he said to his second wife, see you later, I'm taking sannyas. And she said, how can you leave me? And he said to her, in this material world, my dear, the only two things are real. Everything else is an illusion. So what did he say the two real things are? He said the chanting of the holy name, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and associating and serving devotees. They're real. So the holy name is real, and the association and service we have with the devotees is real. But he said everything else is an illusion. And then he said, as long as you do those two things, you will always feel my association. So then he took sannyas. So she took that to heart. So she was always chanting the holy name. And Lord Chaitanya left her with a deity of himself. He left her with a deity of himself. And then she chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to that deity of Lord Chaitanya. And she felt his presence always through that. And she was so austere. She was so austere that for her eating, she would put 1 grain of rice aside as her quota of food for the day for every round of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra that she chanted. So if you want to eat a decent meal, you have to chant a lot of rounds, so that's how much chanting she was chanting, just like Haridas Thakur, a lot of rounds, so she might get, whatever, 150 grains of rice a day or 190 grains of rice a day. It's, not very much, but so used to live very simply, very austerely, and just lots of chanting, so that was that's the recommendation. So that's the Lord is still present today, right now. He's present right now today in the form of the holy name. And if you chant the holy name, you'll have his association, and if you don't, you won't. So that's the most important thing, to chant the holy name. And Prabhupada said to the devotees who were experiencing incredible achievements in the early days of Krishna consciousness, incredible, how they were just building temples in no time at all and establishing centers all over the world, and making so many devotees. Every week there was like dozens of devotees joining so many temples. They were distributing millions of books, collecting millions of dollars, and everything was just going amazingly. And Prabhupada said, this is all happening by the mercy of the holy name. He said, because you're chanting the holy name, Lord Chaitanya is pleased with you, and everything is going well. Everything is becoming auspicious. So the caution with that is, the caution that goes along with that is what? What's the caution? If everything goes really well when you chant the holy name, what's the other side? What's the caution?
We should stop chanting, everything goes wrong.
You stop chanting and then things are not going to go so well anymore, so and not necessarily when you chant everything goes well, but when you chant, you'll be able to respond better to the things that don't go well. You get that? When you chant, you'll be able to respond better to the things that don't go well. And generally in the material world, there's a lot of things don't go well. But when you're Krishna conscious through chanting and so forth, associating with devotees, then you'll respond better and you'll take it in a better way, in a positive way, and learn the lessons that we all have to learn. You know, so that's so essential to chant the holy name. Yeah, so that's the Lord's recommendation for all of us in Kali Yuga, to chant the holy name, because that's what's going to work the best. That's what's going to produce the best results. That's going to produce better results than deity worship, than fire sacrifices, doing meditation in the forest, and all the other processes that used to be done. That will give the best result. But like Jayanti said, you know, but in the beginning, you know, don't expect that, you know, you're going to really enjoy it all the time and you're going to have great taste for chanting and that. But you have to do it just as a matter of duty. Just as a matter of duty. Some days you might like to do it, sometimes you don't like to do it, but who cares what you
Every
like?
day
What
I
you
don't like to do it, I still do it.
Yeah. So it's like Prabhupada gives example, just like the mother will cook for her family, even it's stinking hot in the kitchen in summertime. She'll cook, you know, in India it's like 40 degrees, you know, like that. And the mother's cooking in the kitchen means it's like 50 degrees, but still she's going to cook for her kids because that's her duty. And the man, even though it sucks, you know, going in the traffic, working in some stupid factory and office, you know, because he loves his family, he'll work to make money for his family.
40 degrees, he's a rickshaw driver in a pedal rickshaw, 40 degrees. Can you imagine
it's hard
that?
work. Yeah. So they're doing it as a matter of duty, you know, whether you like it or you don't like it, you just do it as a matter of duty. But from doing your duty, that turns into love. You know, like what is the mother's relationship with her children? Is it just that, you know, she feels some resentment doing work for them and that? No, she loves them. You know, so if you do your duty, then the love develops, you know, and the man also has love for his family is so much. So the more you do your duties, then you push through the thick and thin and everything, then love slowly develops. But don't think there's going to be love in the beginning. No, duty has to be there in the beginning, and then from that the love develops through doing all your, you know, your services for the other persons. Then you develop a nice relationship like that. So when we do our duty to Krishna, then slowly the relationship develops like that, and then love will come. So yeah, that's the recommendation.
So you don't believe in the love at the first sight?
No, we don't believe in love at first sight. We believe in lust at first sight. Lust at first sight.
Whoa.
We didn't read the beginning of the purport, so we read the second half to answer that question about how Krishna can be spread everywhere in the universe, but yet he's not there. He's not there even though he's pervading the whole universe. So we answered that with the analogy, good analogy of the king and the government, the king and the kingdom. So although the energies of the king are everywhere through the kingdom, but the king is not everywhere. So in the same way that although Krishna is distributed everywhere through his different energies, but he's not present everywhere. Well, there's one verse that says that where he says to Narada Muni, he says, I'm not in Vaikuntha, now I'm not in the heart of the yogi, but I am wherever my devotees are chanting my glories. So that's very insightful. So that's the main thing that attracts Krishna, is where people that love him are talking about him. So if you want Krishna in your life, what should you do? You know, you should get together with people that love Krishna and talk about Krishna together. You talk and, you know, chant Krishna's names and talk about Krishna with other people that love Krishna, and we can know for sure that Krishna will be present there in that association. I mean, it's very well known that God is in the heart of the yogis. The yogis are meditating on God in the heart. But here in that verse, Krishna says, I'm not in the heart of the yogi. And it's very commonly known that that God lives in the spiritual world, Vaikuntha. But in that verse, Krishna says, I'm not in Vaikuntha, in the spiritual world. But he says, I'm wherever my devotees are singing my glories. So the main thing that attracts God is love. That's it. God doesn't need anything else. doesn't want anything else, but he's attracted to loving relationships like that. And aren't we the same? Aren't we the same?
Yeah, we're talking about the God love, not the human love.
No, but I mean, even we're part of God, right? So what makes us tick? You know, we also looking for loving relationships, isn't it? And I don't think, I'm not talking about the ordinary, what we call loving relationships, which is not real loving relationships, but we're all looking for that, some very affectionate, caring, nice relationships where we like-minded people, and we can exchange some services. I give food to you, you give food to me. I give a gift to you and you give a gift to me, and like that. These are like in the net of instruction, it says that devotees exchange 6 kind of loving exchanges. Dadati pradigranati means giving gifts and receiving gifts. And then guyamakiti prichati means I reveal my mind to you in confidence, and you explain to me, give, answers, solution, your feedback confidentially. And Bhukte bojayate chaiva, I give you food and you accept it from me, and you give me food and I accept it from you. So these are the 6 loving exchanges. So that's just like we like that. That inspires us, that motivates us. So where does that come from? Because Krishna, that's what Krishna likes. Krishna likes those loving exchanges. That story of Krishna had left Vrindavan, gone to Mathura to kill Kamsa. And after he killed Kamsa, he had been invited to Akrura. Akrura had invited him to his house. How did he get from Vrindavan to Mathura? Akrura picked him up in a golden chariot that Kamsa had sent Akrura to get him in a golden chariot. So Akrura dropped him off, and then he said, while you're in town, please come and visit my house. And Krishna said, I'll do that after I finish my business. So after he killed Kamsa, he went to Akrura's house. And Akrura was busy at that time when Krishna arrived doing something. And then his wife was there to receive Krishna. And she was so ecstatic, so happy to have God in her house, Krishna in her house, that she was throwing the banana, the inside, the banana in the rubbish bin, and giving Krishna the peel. So she was so bewildered in her love for Krishna that she was giving him the peel and throwing the banana. And Krishna was eating the peel. Krishna was eating the peel, and he was enjoying it, knowing that she's got so in love with me that and she's not even aware of what she's doing. And then Akrura, husband, came in and said, what are you doing, lady? What are you giving him the peel? And like that. But that just shows how much Krishna enjoys
that. Yeah, when Akrura said, what are you doing that? She said, oh, I didn't know that. Then she started giving a banana, and then Krishna said, that's it, I'm done. He didn't eat the banana. He said that was the love part. I ate the skin and the peel. After that banana, he didn't eat it. He said, that's it, I'm done. Because that was ecstasy, love was their peel.
Yeah. So this is the essence of devotees' life, that we love to get together and talk about Krishna and everything. We can read that in beautiful verse. It's very close to Gulshan's favorite, 10:10. So this is 10:9. 10:9.
The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me.
Mm. So this is where the happiness and satisfaction, bliss comes from for devotees. It's just coming together and enlightening one another, enlightening each other, and talking. Conversing means talking about what? Talking about the politics and the weather and the sports and everything. No, talking about Krishna. So devotees, when they come
They
together,
start with the politics and then come to Krishna. If you stay straight away start with Krishna, they lose interest.
no,
Start
that's
with the US election, then slowly come to Krishna.
that's our concoction. Yeah, that's not good. That's a recipe for depression. Not. Of course, we have to be aware of these things. We have to be aware of what the demons are up to, so to avoid them. But yeah, no, that's where we get it. But there's no taste in that, you see. You know, we can talk about politics and that, but there's no real pleasure for the soul in that. I mean, but that's something you have to do that just to stay alive. Be aware of what the naughty souls are doing. But if to get our real juice, to get the rasa, the real satisfaction is in, talking about Krishna together like that. Isn't it like Friday night at the Bhakti Tree that was just full of rasa, full of taste? Everyone was so happy. The devotees were happy, the guests were happy, everyone was happy. Those serving the food were happy, those receiving the food were happy. It was just full of loving exchanges, isn't it? Because what did I say, giving food, receiving food, like that, and, we're revealing our mind to people, in the form of the holy name and saying a few things like there, and people were hearing that. It's just so many loving exchanges, and everyone walked out the door feeling very satisfied, and that's the nature of the soul, and that's Krishna too. He's attracted wherever there are people that love him, are talking about him. That's very attractive. That's very attractive. So anyway, let's read that first paragraph. Gail? So we're back to 9.4, beginning of the purport.
Yeah. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not perceivable through the gross material senses. It is said, Ata Shri Krishna Namadi Na Bhaved Grayam Indriyai Sevan Muk Javadu Spayam Eva Spurati Ada. Lord Shri Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Only to one who is engaged in pure devotional service under proper guidance is he revealed. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated, Premandana Kshatriya Bhakti Bilo Kanen Santa Sarabhiya Rajesu Bilo Kayanti. One can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, always within himself and outside of himself, if one has developed the transcendental loving attitude towards him. Thus, for people in general, he is not visible. Here it is said that although he is all-pervading, everywhere present, he is not conceivable by the material senses. This is indicated here by the word avakta tina. But actually, although we cannot see him, everything is resting in him. As we have discussed in the 7th chapter, the entire material cosmic manifestation is only a combination of his two different energies, the superior spiritual energy and the inferior material energy. Just as the sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of the Lord is spread all over creation, and everything is resting in that energy.
So here it's mentioned, because it's saying here in the verse that he's spread everywhere through the universe in unmanifest form. So Prabhupada's mentioning why he's unmanifest. So unmanifest means you can't see him. So he's not seen by material senses, However, he can be seen by spiritual senses. if the senses get spiritualized by devotional service, then he can be seen. And we see that great devotees could see God everywhere in the material world, which generally most people don't see him at all. But they, like Prahlad, could see him everywhere. Isn't it? Like Prahlad saw Nrsingadev inside the pillar, and Hiranyakashipu couldn't, but Prahlad could see God inside the pillar because he has spiritual vision due to his, 24/7, devotional service and Krishna consciousness. He could see Krishna everywhere. And there's many verses in the Bhagavad Gita saying that the advanced devotee sees God everywhere. I think 6th chapter, going back, 6th chapter 29, there's a beautiful verse about how the yogi sees the Lord. Yeah. 6:29.
A true yogi observes me in all being and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized person sees me, the Supreme Lord, everywhere.
So the non-devotee doesn't see God anywhere. It's unmanifest. But for the devotee, sees every being in me and sees me in every being, so is seeing God everywhere. So just different vision, and the different vision is because of devotional service. So if we take up the process of devotional service, Krishna consciousness, we can come to the point where we can see God everywhere. And that's why in the one we just did, 9th chapter, text 2, where it says it's the best religion because you can get direct perception of the self. So direct perception means with your eyes. Direct perception of the self means you can see the Supreme Self, you can see God. So I'm a soul, and with my eyes, I can see the Supreme Soul. I can see God. Through this process of Bhakti Yoga, we can get to that point. One time, Prabhupada told the book distributors that you just keep distributing books, and one day you'll turn around to distribute the next book, and Krishna will be standing there. So Krishna is very pleased by our devotional service, and he can reveal himself. He can reveal himself to the devotee. He can reveal himself. How he will do that, when he will do that, that's up to Krishna. And we can't force it to happen, make it happen or whatever, but he knows exactly what's the right thing to do. So we have faith in Krishna, and we're just happy to go on with our devotional service. And in due course of time, Krishna manifests himself in different ways. Sometimes he may just manifest in the form of feeling lots of happiness, like what we did on Friday night, right? That, we felt so happy. So that's his mercy also, revealing, that happiness. Sometimes it might be in tasting the prasadam. We go into ecstasy, tasting the prasadam, or in a kirtan, or in hearing about Krishna's pastimes, or like that. So we're getting some real revelation or realization like that. Sometimes I've had unusual experiences, while chanting my rounds. I've gone somewhere, or a devotee one time was singing Jaya Radha Madhava before a class and took me out of this world like that. So Krishna makes special arrangements that increases our faith and makes us want to go further in Krishna consciousness. Definitely we must be getting some kind of positive experience, some kind of realizations. Otherwise, why would we continue? Doesn't it? Is anyone paying us to do this? Is anyone paying us to speak, paying us to chant, or anything like that? Paying us to offer the food? No, we're obviously getting some kind of positive experience. Otherwise, why would we do it? Even if you paid someone to chant Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Pepsi for a couple of hours a day, they wouldn't last very long, even if you paid them. And we're doing it for free. So how is it possible that we've continued for 30 years, or someone 10 years, or whatever, 5 years, if they're not getting something out of it? What do you think?
Yeah, they lose the interest if they don't get anything out of it.
There's definitely, isn't there, some kind of experience we're getting. We might not be very conscious of it, but definitely there's something that's attracting us, isn't it? Because we're not getting paid to do it. What are we getting out of it materially? Not, but definitely we're getting something out of it. Otherwise, why would we do it? Only a lunatic would do something they're not getting any benefit from, you know. So definitely we are getting some benefit from it, and we should appreciate that. We should appreciate how Krishna is revealing himself to us, how Krishna is manifesting. Because if it's just some material words or whatever, you couldn't repeat the same words over and over again for day after day or whatever like that. It wouldn't be possible like that. But you know, devotees are attracted to different things. Some devotees are very attracted to hearing the philosophy and the talks about Krishna. Like I know Gail is. She's read the whole Bhagavatam. You know, very attracted to hearing the philosophy. Others enjoy kirtan. Others enjoy japa. Others enjoy eating prasadam. Others enjoy waving incense and flowers at the deities and dressing the deities and bathing them and everything. Others enjoy making garlands, you know, or, you know, flower arrangements and things like that. Some people enjoy. What do you enjoy, Jayanti? She's running away. Like that. So she actually really likes making flower arrangements. She makes the vases for our deities here. She's just gone and collected flowers for half an hour. She spent. I grow the flowers and she picks them all and offers it to the deities every morning. She really enjoys that, making different arrangements. And she loves so much preparing prasadam. No, I'm just joking. She gets a bit bored of doing that. But no, she's really into flowers. She cooks day in, day out, every day for like sometimes up to 20 people a day at the moment with all these walkers coming past. And like that. But she's doing it. That's the beginning of love, right? Out of duty. She's dutifully doing it. And that's turning into love, isn't it?
You know, it's an Indian marriage. They say the 7 year. So this is the first year. Prabhuji, 6 more lifetime you have to be spent with Jayanti.
You don't know how many they've been through before this one, though.
And maybe this is the last.
Anyway, I'm gonna hand it over to my better half because I've got 5 people outside waiting to learn how to make sugarcane juice.
Why are you calling them now?
That's right. Okay, lovely to see you. We'll see you all later. Okay, that's okay.
Tata, everybody.